My average IQ after taking IQ tests from accredited psychologists is 134.5. Only 2% of the human population score that high. I'm very close to genius level IQ. You calling me stupid is like someone calling Albert Einstein stupid, which makes one of us look stupid. Hint, not me. Only people with 150 IQ or higher are able to watch this video. So if you manage to watch all the way through, congrats, you're part of the 1% of people who can do that. Every guy I've ever been with has always been intimidated by my intelligence and tried to humble me. But last night, my man and I were debating something, and after I got done ranting and demolishing his argument, he said, "That was hot. I love smart women," and agreed with me. Well, I'm glad you found somebody who loves you for who you really are. An intelligent, independent woman. But the only thing I'm intimidated by is your lack of use of a comma. Did you know, when Johnny English puts on an exoskeleton suit to climb a tall tower, his assistant inserts a floppy disk into the computer to power up the suit? The screen of the computer shows a segment of code in the C programming language, which purportedly is to control the powering up of the suit. However, this piece of C code shown is simply to find the maximum value in a list of random numbers, the number of random numbers having to be entered in by the user. This has nothing to do with powering up a neoprene exoskeleton suit. This factual mistake requires some computer programming knowledge to adequately grasp. Wow, you're so smart. I tried to learn C programming language, but there wasn't enough pretty colors to keep me interested. So I know it takes a pretty big brain to learn C. Me 3 months ago. All wine tastes the same. Me now, after drinking an entire bottle of Rosé. Sauvignon Blanc tastes awful. Albarino is best varietal, and anyone who says all wine tasted the same is stupid. Yeah, I know, right? Like, imagine having taste buds so fried by all of these carbonated sodas like Coca-Cola and Dr. Pepper, hashtag not sponsored, that you can't enjoy the subtleties of LaCroix, or LaCroix, however you pronounce it. I wouldn't bother meeting Beyonce. I don't see what the big deal is. But if it's important to him, hopefully he gets to. Personally, I couldn't care less about her. I'm sure she could also care less about you. I'm actually interesting. Unlike her, she just does songs or whatever. I can't even name one. Probably she wouldn't care about me, but only because she's too simple to appreciate me. Yeah, she just does those silly songs. Unlike this guy, he does the real interesting things. Like sometimes he gets crazy and eats a second bowl of cereal in the morning. You need an IQ of at least 2,000 to do that. And sometimes it gets even crazier, like once in a while, he'll listen to Mozart in one ear and Bach in the other. Absolute mad lad. Me at the beginning of the night? Okay, I made some nice new friends in my hostel. I'm not gonna scare them off by getting all political. Me a couple mojitos later. The welfare state is a tool used by establishment politicians to give the appearance that they care about helping those in need so that the people don't get angry enough to demand structural economic reforms that would make lasting systematic changes to actually reduce inequality. We can't be fooled by these politicians and must organize to launch a democratic socialist revolution. Oops. Ha ha ha. See, it is funny joke because this person is smart, so when he or she gets drunk, they do smart boy things. But me, a small brain, whenever I drink my mojitos, I only end up doing a funny dance. Cause I'm small brained. Never, ever call the police for any reason. The police are not your friends. They are out to do the bidding of their master, period. There are no public servants in law enforcement. They are trained to make the public servants unto themselves. So the 6 officers that charged towards the shooter, ignoring their own safety in Ohio, were doing the bidding of their master and not trying to save innocent people from getting killed? Wow, genius comment. Exceptions to every rule. And yes, my IQ is far exceeding the level society accepts as genius. Yep, whenever you start losing an argument, just bring in your IQ. Let those people know that their more sophisticated argument is actually really wrong because they have a lower IQ than you. Look, you gotta stop asking for now. What was your major again? Film? What's the relationship between retrocausality and the quantum eraser? What the fuck? I don't know. What's the first law of thermodynamics? Second law is easier to remember. I don't know. You have a lot of learning to do. Oh my gosh, you don't know the concepts of insert big words here? Well, everyone should know about it. I don't care if you'll never use this information again in your entire life, you should just know it though. At least that's what the school system thinks that we should do, instead of teaching us actual applicable information. Don't stay in school, kids. 4 sticky notes, less than 2 hours left. I'm so confused. When I lose focus, I begin to write out the Fibonacci sequence because it is something ridiculous to do. I am slightly a math nerd. That's small brain time. The Fibonacci sequence can easily be derived in your head. I, on the other hand, write out the digits of pi when I'm bored. I've memorized it to the billionth digit. Get on my level, you 150 IQ peasant. Darwin knew as much about evolution as Henry Ford knew about Ferraris. Yes, but Henry Ford knew that whatever the mechanisms, the principles would be right. Really? He knew how fluid coupling could create enough centrifugal force to override a governor in order to achieve maximum torque? I don't know, I guess he did. But if you don't start being quiet about your coupling governors, I'm gonna send you to ask Henry Ford yourself. The only reason that I have not gotten laid is that I simply have too much of a high intellect for most women. Most women busy themselves with frivolous nonsense like dance music or shopping. If only I found a woman who is not arrogant yet curious about cerebral interests such as astrophysics and computer engineer. Alas, is the lonely life of those whose IQ is higher than average. Yes, quite. I think it's simply insufferable how most of the population uses sex only for pleasure. I, on the other hand, think that it should be an intellectual endeavor as well. And all of the people that I've slept with agree with that sentiment. All 0 of them. Yeah, I love to debate, 'cause I can't lose. I'm literally always right. Never found a debate I can't win. They either accept I'm right or never speak to me again. Okay. Big bird. Multiple stab wounds may be harmful to monkeys. Again, the Onion is showing their massive ignorance, as well as the ignorance of America. I did not think this country could get any dumber than it already is. Of course, stab wounds harm monkeys. You must be an absolute idiot to not understand that. Have these scientists and researchers ever graduated from middle school? I bet if I were to compare myself to them in an IQ test, I would beat these morons by a long shot, as it seems like even a simple and very easy graduation from college is enough to outsmart them. Send these grown children back to school and let them learn about real life. Or maybe this guy should go back to school to learn about satire. Or at least that's what I would say, if I didn't know that this comment is also satire. I am rating 4 stars just because I would expect much more sophisticated demand models. I am willing to accept the fact that it takes time to build up your empire. I am quite a rational user. Therefore, I would never invest real money into a game like this. But after some time, the whole game starts to repeat itself. It is a mechanical thing. You wait, you earn, you buy a route, you fill the demand. The elasticity of demand works fine here, but the model is static. There are no demand fluctuations, no seasonal effects, no real-world challenges. All your blunders can be corrected after 24 hours without any consequences. It's not a complex game in which only the most flexible could strive. You don't compete with other users. Once you understand the main principles and derive a simple algorithm to have steadily growing cash flow, you become bored. I should design my own business game probably. Imagine somebody making a game, not to accurately represent the real world, but instead so people could have fun playing the game. Huh, Weird concept. If you're too stupid to intuit yourself how this happens, then you don't deserve to know. You seem so charming, you must have loads of women drooling over you. I actually do, but it's mostly due to my good looks. You know, I'll try to roast this guy, but I can't find anything to roast him about. I only have small brain, so I can only roast people based on their looks, but this guy is looking pretty good. And even if I did come up with something to roast this guy about, he'd probably just debunk me with his smarts. Science can never fulfill any craving for knowledge or improve our lives because the scientific method is based on evidence which is known and makes no immediate acknowledgement for the evidence which is unknown. For example, a decision is made on the basis of evidence which is known at the time. However, little thought is given to the evidence which is not yet known. This unknown evidence inevitably will continue as it is found to infinitely alter scientific conclusions on which concrete assumptions are made. From these conclusions, our decisions are not based on evidence but are based on our idea of morality, and therefore science has given us nothing. Science will only ever promise to improve the world, but it will never have the ability to improve our lives. Yep, I totally agree. I can't think of a single thing that science has ever done to improve anything in anyone's lives. Like medicine? Psh, that hasn't done anything for anyone. Technology? We're in the true dark ages now. Space exploration? Why don't we just stick to our tiny little rock in space? And don't even get me started on food sciences. We didn't need all those flavors that food science has given us anyway. I once asked my IT person at work what I could or should do keeping our kids safe on the internet, and she replied that our kids know so much more about it, anything we try won't work anyway. Seems she was right. See, as a computer science teacher, that's a horrifying answer. The best thing you can do is actually talk to your children, know what sites they go on, and teach them about things like fake news, grooming, and privacy settings. Just because they can use Google better than parents doesn't mean they know how to keep themselves safe. If they're over 10 and still don't know about those things, then it's their fault. I was already practicing how to DDoS at 13. A 13-year-old hacker? How stupid. I can make fun of this guy all I want, and there's nothing he can do about it. It's not like he actually knows how to hack or anything.